Hey everybody, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. Okay, first card we have out is the Page of Wands. I'm seeing the Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Okay, the Death card. Things are feeling different this time around. I feel like you've hopped on a train or in a boat of some sort, and you may have expected it to be one way, but there can be a lot of moving pieces right now. It feels like something that you're getting involved with that may be like changing your life in a big way. And it's definitely something that feels right, like intuitively, feeling wise, because I'm seeing something that it's like you're naturally drawn to this, but the implications of it may be something that, like, things are changing or things are very different now. Or you could have gone into this knowing that things would change. Like, if I go in this direction, which I'm seeing you be like genuinely interested in, like it's not really for any other reason that this was... You feel motivated because it feels like normal and natural for you to go in this direction. I'm seeing like just an organic pull, we can say, for you to move this way. And some of you may have known beforehand, like if I do go in this direction, a lot is going to change because of that. But some of you may have gone into this and not realized or not known, or it just like wasn't really something that mattered, or maybe wasn't on your radar before. And I'm seeing like a lot of things that it maybe like one thing after the other, or it could be like a really big change that's connected with this. I'm seeing it be like attached specifically with you going in this direction, okay? But intuitively this feels right. So just know that if you're feeling a little bit intimidated by like what this means, or things are they're starting to feel very different and it can feel uncomfortable because transitions tend to feel uncomfortable, just know that it's normal and that you're going in the right direction, okay? But yeah, it may feel like a lot is changing right now. But this is part of your destiny, would be the feeling. Like this is how you accomplish what you've, like for some of you, this is part of your dreams of what you came here to accomplish. Like I'm seeing your guides say things may feel uncomfortable and things may feel different, or you can feel the changes, but just like keep the faith and have hope as you move through this. Don't lose sight of that, of the light, of your light, as you move through this. Because with the Death card too, like sometimes we're sort of asked to like surrender or loosen our grip on certain things, but it's because we don't really need them anymore. And that like something else, it's never like you're gonna lose something and something else won't take its place. Like there's always going to be the next thing that's going to cycle through. But it can feel like very scary in that letting go part, because you don't know what's going to like fall into your hands next, but something absolutely will. It's just part of the cycle of things. It's the never-ending cycle. It may be a change that's happening, but it's just a change of form that's happening. And this feels right. I'm getting something about a moonflower here. I'm also hearing the word Japanese. What's this about? I'm seeing Five of Wands popping up. This can have to do with direction. I was hearing the word directionless, but I don't think that that's the case here. I feel like something is working itself out more so. Okay. Yeah, it's like trying to figure out how to proceed now. And you may feel like you're being pulled in a few different directions. Because I'm seeing, like, you want to have a concentrated effort here with what you're doing. But I do get that, like, Five of Wands can be like, well, this person expects me to do that, and I want to do this, and like, am I gonna lose this if I move that way? Or like, I want to do this, but I also want to do this thing over here. And so it can feel like there's, again, just something that's being worked out, where it feels like the thing that you're feeling strongest is sort of going to show up here, but the feelings and the movements, they sort of need to work themselves out before you can have like a concentrated focus or effort in a particular direction, okay? It meaning, again, like something needs to work itself out before you can move forward, but then you're going to feel like very intact when you move forward, okay? Some of you too could be like waiting on the answer for something. I'm seeing that there's going to be info coming through or somebody coming through to chat with you. Something of the sort. Yeah, you observing what's going on here. It's kind of like there's one part of you that's like, I want to do this, and then another part of you that's like, we're expected to do this, and then another part of you that may feel obligated to do a particular thing, then another part of you that's like, who am I living my life for? I actually want to do this instead. And I'm seeing you sort of back a little bit. It's like all of these like feelings and thoughts are working it out like in the ring, something like that. And I'm seeing you sort of observing and watching to see like who's gonna come out on top here. Like that's the vibe that I'm getting from this. You have nothing to be worried about. This is just a natural part of the process. I'm seeing things are definitely going to be going the way that you want them to here. It's just about keeping your eye on the bigger picture, not losing sight of that. Because I'm actually seeing you looking very well off here. Like very, very secure is the best way to describe this. Some of you too, this move that you're making, it's to like enhance your stability or your livelihood in some way. I'm hearing or create more of a standing form. I don't know what exactly that means, but that's coming through, a standing form. Maybe something that feels more concrete or solid to you. Okay. I do get the vibe that there are some things that you feel sure about, but maybe some things in the detail of like how exactly do I get there. Like I'm seeing even an end result that there's an awareness of like this is where I'm trying to land. But having there be this moment of contemplation over here, it feels like, what do I need to do to get over here? Which is sort of like the conclusion or the end result. And you may just need some time to think about that too, but I'm getting like for some of you, you sort of already know the direction that you want to go in, but because of how big of a like change or transition it is, some of you are actually feeling really intimidated. But you have to know too that if you're really being called in this direction, even though it may be like a big thing for you and it may be a little scary or intimidating or whatever else it may be that you're feeling, it's about believing in yourself, and it's about like believing in your dreams and what you want to do and what you want to experience. because I'm not really seeing you have any issue getting things done or taking action when you need to or initiating whatever. Like, I'm seeing you have really strong solar plexus energy, which is like your willpower and your ability to manifest things. You just need some time to think this over. Because some of you too, you're around a lot of people and you're influenced by a lot of people, and you need to be influenced by yourself here. And that's why I'm seeing Hermit come out. So it's like, what do you think about what's going on? Like, if you could detach yourself from everybody's like thoughts and opinions and the pressure and the obligation and the expectations and all of that. Because I am seeing you be in like somewhat a position of like importance or of power in some way. And so maybe you have some people relying on you or some people that you don't want to let down, that sort of thing. But I really do get this feeling strongly here of you sort of actually like knowing, I'm seeing you know that you're interested in something. It just may, I feel like what you may feel like is blocking you is just that this would be a big change. That's what I'm getting. And you may not be attributing it all to that, but I'm seeing that's where like the majority of your like hesitance, can we say, or like your I haven't done anything about that yet or gone in that direction yet or like really committed to that yet. It feels like it's really connected with the change and how big that would be and how life would look different for you then. So yeah, there may be a part of you that's like a bit hesitant with like taking this sort of risk. Also, some of you too, you may not be the type to like take things lightly or make moves lightly, you know. It may, when you get to a point, you may be ready for this, but some of you, it's like quite slow getting to that point of being ready. Like you may be quite reserved actually in the moves that you make sometimes when it feels big, like it would impact you in this sort of way. Because it does feel like this would affect / impact multiple areas of your life. Yeah, to be frank, I just get the vibe of you feeling honestly like a bit scared about things, which is totally okay. It's just the way that you're feeling. You know too that you can't really control how you're feeling. Some of you are experiencing anxiety, you're feeling kind of restless, you could be having a hard time sleeping, you feel like this thing keeps nagging at you. But it's really about you believing in yourself and like, why not at the end of the day? Some of you too, there's something, or there are some things or chapters that would have to be closed out, and there's like a part of you that feels very resistant to that, but I'm not seeing it come from a place of empowerment. We can just leave that there. So check in and ask yourself really what's motivating the decisions that you're making. Are you like motivated by fear, or are you motivated by empowerment and trust and your intuition and faith in yourself? Because I am too getting this vibe of like some of you, even though you may have accomplished a lot, you may still like not always really believe in yourself. Or think that you can do certain things or like live up to certain things. But I'm definitely seeing like so much potential here, and I feel like if you accomplished certain things and got to those points, you'd be like, wow, like I knew that I could do this, but I'm getting just now you being in that like before things sort of happen, you're looking at something and being like, I don't know, like can I actually do that? Can I really do this? But I feel like it's about shaking those feelings of doubt out and you just going for this. But I'm seeing too that the reason why you haven't like fully gone there, it feels like it's associated with anxiety, or you feeling kind of frozen or like fear. So I'm seeing that if like you weren't making your decisions based off of that, it looks like you would have already done this already. And just know too that like you're not too early, you're not too late, you're like just right on time. So don't take that and be like, oh, I should have started this like days ago or years ago or by the time I reach this age or anything like that. It's not about that. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything that you've been experiencing up until this point is needed for where you're going next, all of that. So don't let that come through and have you feeling any type of way, okay? Yeah, but I also think that that's too the whole reason why your guides are like, take this time to sort of reflect and think, because I think that at this point you're like realizing that you've been feeling like actually pretty... I'm using the word scared, but it can show up in a lot of different ways, but I'm seeing it be like fear associated, fear, resistance, avoidance of facing something that feels like a big challenge or a big change. And it seems like when you reflect on that, because some of you too, you have like busy lives, and so it's very easy not to check in or not to reflect. But I'm seeing that when you actually take the time to do this, because I'm seeing you be in a spot where it looks like you're cruising a bit. Like I'm seeing things look pretty solid for you. And so you've now like afforded yourself the opportunity to actually spend like a minute to really reflect on this. And I'm seeing when you do, you see things that maybe you weren't acknowledging before, recognizing before. Whereas maybe you could have been like, oh, I'm not doing that because it's inconvenient, or because I don't know if I like really want to do that. But I'm actually seeing you be like, oh, I haven't been doing that because I'm actually like really scared to, or I'm really intimidated to, or I feel really anxious about this, or like I don't know if I can really do it, like that sort of thing. So I'm just seeing something really important that's being realized here about where you are psychologically with things that I don't think this was like fully realized before. So this is very, very important, even though it can be like, how is that important? Like, isn't this a bad thing that I like? It's really not at all, because until you get to the point where you're recognizing this, where you're acknowledging this, you can't address it. You can't address something that you don't know is there, you know? So that's why this is so important. And also you get to choose at the end of the day, again, like what you're motivated by. You can feel like really scared or really intimidated, or like something is a lot, or have a lot of anxiety around something, and still choose to do it anyway, still choose to move forward anyway, still choose to just have that faith and know that you wouldn't be led in this direction if it wasn't the thing for you. I'm getting to like, it's not only just that this would be a big change, it looks too like you'd have to close out a cycle or two. And that can be where this hesitance is coming from as well. Like having to face something where there may be pushback or there may be a confrontation because of that, because of what you want to do, which I'm seeing you've like already dealt with before as well. It just seems like another one of those things. I'm seeing Scorpio, Aquarius, and Virgo here. Know that this can be connected with, and Sagittarius. Know that this can be connected with many areas of your chart, not just your sun sign, okay? Yeah, I do still feel like, you've gotten to this point now where you're recognizing what's below the surface for you. Again, especially from like a psychological standpoint and like a even mental health standpoint. And it looks like something that you're in the midst of learning how to work with. Like, I'm getting the vision of somebody that they're about to like work with a medium that's sort of like clay-like, and in the beginning it's very hard to like forge or move or mold, but as their hands, meaning like their focus on their energy, is warming it up, it's becoming more malleable. And I feel like this is about the directory even of your energy, and maybe something that had like crystallized before that you don't want to be crystallized, that you're sort of like learning how to manipulate energetically for you. Transmutation and alchemy. I will say this again, you know that you want to go in this direction. You know that you want to go in this direction. You feel called, you feel moved. You feel pulled. Like, this is the thing to do. Yeah. I feel too, like, because of these things that you've been feeling, because, like, 9 of Swords and 8 of Swords, that is, like, the worst of the worst mentally that we go through. That's, like, completely feeling like you're in hell, like, really suffering and being like, it's too scary, or I'm getting too much anxiety, or I'm, like, feeling very dysregulated. I'm moving into fight or flight right now. Like, all these responses that we have where with temperance, it's like you learning how to regulate that. But for some of you, you've not been regulating this. I'm seeing, like, you may be doing some things that you feel like are actually sabotaging you taking action, and they're sabotaging this, like, bigger picture, bigger stability, or, like, bigger thing that you want, or, like, this bigger goal that you have. And it's because of, it's not because you don't know how to temper this, it's because you're doing other things other than that. Because I'm seeing this part of you, like this shadow, this fear, and it can be very subconscious at times, that's sort of like running the game right now. So you may not always be aware, but I'm seeing it's actually like taking away from you in a bigger way. Which it seems like this is also something that you're coming to realize as well. Because I'm getting to that once you actually sit down and, like, think about things, or you're ready to acknowledge things, I'm seeing it be, like, right there and ready for you. But sometimes you may not be ready to, and that's why certain things don't always, like, click into place. So I do feel, too, like, there would be an awareness of this. Like, yeah, I do know that I'm kind of sabotaging myself, or that when I continue doing this, that it's putting me in the opposite direction of where I'm actually trying to go, or what I'm actually trying to accomplish. So you're meant to be trying to work with this part of yourself. Yeah, some of you also self-sabotage by being, like, indecisive, but then being, like, passive because of that, or, like, not taking action. Like, yeah, I am trying to figure this out, but you stay in that for, like, ever and ever and ever, and don't actually do anything about it. Or, like, I'm figuring it out, but you're, like, always figuring it out, and nothing is ever figured out. You know what I'm saying? We self-sabotage in lots of different ways, and sometimes it's even societally acceptable how we're self-sabotaging, so just keep that in mind, okay? And there may be things that you're doing as well that could be like, even if it's in a slight way, chipping away at your resources. But resources can mean lots of different things, okay? It does feel like something that had been on the back burner a little bit is now going to be coming to the front, and I feel like some big things are going to be changing around here. And I do keep seeing the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so it does feel like if there's been information that you've been looking for, you're about to find it, or it's about to find you, or you're about to have, like, a really important conversation or something that, like, really clarifies things for you, or, like, there are going to be certain synchronicities that just feel like you can't ignore them at this point, where it's like, wow, that's so obvious, it couldn't mean anything else. Couldn't mean any other thing, like that sort of stuff. Those things are going to be continuing to happen, because I feel like you've opened up a bit of a portal here. Like, it does feel like you're ready for something, even if you're not like fully realizing that yet. I do feel like something has been initiated that feels important, and it's going to get the ball rolling now. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I'd like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.